Radhe Radhe, as sure as death is a popular English idiom. In the Patanjali Yoga Sutras, he talks about Abhinivesha, the urge to live, as the greatest urge in humans. Yet, we all know it is the unavoidable fact of life. Krishna says, when we know it's unavoidable, why can't we accept it? Especially when we know that no one actually dies. The fear of death will not bind us anymore. True knowledge is liberating. Chapter 2, Shloka 27. जातस्य हि ध्रुवो मृत्युर्ध्रुवं जन्म मृतस्य च तस्मादपरिहार्येऽर्थे न त्वं शोचितुमर्हसि. Translation. For one who is born, death is certain, and for one who dies, birth is certain. Therefore, you should not grieve over the inevitable. There's a popular story of how Lord Buddha teaches a poor lady who grieves over her lost relative by example. He tells her to collect mustard seeds from a family where there has been no death at all. The lady goes from house to house but returns saying that she couldn't find such a house. There is no house where there has been no death at all. Krishna says that there is no reason we should lament over any living being because the fact is that we just cannot kill anybody. He is telling Arjuna in different ways as to why he should be fighting. Chapter 2, Shloka 30. Dehi nityamavadhyoyam dehe sarvasya bharata tasmat sarvani bhutani natvam shochitumarhasi. Translation. O descendant of Bharata, the embodied self dwelling in the bodies of living beings is ever indestructible. Therefore, you should not grieve for anyone. We all are born as babies, then we go to school and get educated as we grow older. All this education we try to put to the maximum use so that we can earn money, contribute to society in whichever ways we can, and thus lead a comfortable life, right? Do we think what happens to this education after this lifetime? Not at all. We are so proud of this education which ends with this life. In the next life, we are again born as babies and again we will have to go to school. It is so temporary, isn't it? But Krishna speaks about another kind of education, which is the bank balance that is carried on to our next life. Spiritual endeavor is never wasted. It keeps on increasing and is the true education that stays with us always. Chapter 2, Shloka 40. नेहाभिक्रमणाशोऽस्ति प्रत्यवायो न विद्यते स्वल्पमप्यस्य धर्मस्य त्रायते महतो भयात्. Translation. In this path of Karma Yoga, there is no loss of progress undertaken, nor is there any chance of obtaining a contrary result. Even a little practice of this dharma protects one from the great fear of repeated birth and death. We find in this world how everything and every situation changes. The challenge is to remain fixed in the middle of these changing situations, right? An intelligent person is one who is fixed in his path. This fixed path he gets by association with others who are fixed on the path. We find the same Bhagavad Gita being interpreted in different ways by different types of people, don't we? If we do not take shelter of the actual content of the scripture, we will never be able to stay in one direction. Chapter 2, Shloka 41. व्यवसायात्मिका बुद्धिर् एकेह कुरु नन्दन बहुशाखा ह्यनन्ताश्च बुद्धयो व्यवसायिनाम्. Translation. O descendant of Kuru, on this path the intellect is resolutely determined, being one-pointed in its intent, whereas the intellectual determinations of the irresolute are innumerable and many-branched. Right? There is a way in which people live. We all live in a certain way. We have noticed different people who live in various ways, right? According to our innermost consciousness, we live and like or dislike things. If we have a spiritual mindset, we like spiritual topics. If we have a material mindset, we like materialistic things, right? By pursuing something ordinary, we can never attain the extraordinary. Let's see what Krishna has to say about having a fixed mind. Chapter 2, Shloka 44. भोगैश्वर्यप्रसक्तानां तयापहृतचेतसां व्यवसायात्मिका बुद्धिः समाधौ न विधीयते. Translation. For those whose minds are carried away by such flowery words and who are firmly attached to pleasure and worldly powers, the intellect cannot become resolutely established in transcognitive awareness of the Atman or Parameshwara. We experience different moods not only on different days but on the same day. Have you noticed that? We are the same person, but we behave differently with different people, with different things, and with different situations. Why is that? Do you think the soul experiences all these mood swings? Or is it the play of the mind? How are different plants and animals so different from one another? What are these qualities that differentiate them? Did you know that every single thing in this material world can be classified into three gunas? Chapter 2, Shloka 45. Traigunya Vishaya Veda Nistraigunyo Bhavarjuna Nirdvandvo Nitya Sattvastho Niryogakshema Atmavan. Translation. The Vedas are predominantly concerned with the three gunas. O Arjuna, be free from the triad of gunas situated beyond dualities. Suppose we are in the railway station waiting to catch a train. Do we just hop on to any train that comes in front of us without knowing the destination? We will be totally lost, right? Only if we know where we are going will we know which train to catch. Similarly, if we don't know the goal of life, we will not know whom to approach for guidance. And if we know the purpose behind learning our scriptures, we will know what is the true essence of the scripture. Chapter 2, Shloka 46. यावान् अर्थ उदपाने सर्वतः सम्प्लुतोदके तावान् सर्वेषु वेदेषु ब्राह्मणस्य विजानतः. Translation. Whatever purpose can be accomplished by a small reservoir of water is entirely fulfilled by a large body of water. Similarly, whatever purpose is obtainable through all the Vedas is entirely fulfilled by a self-realized Brahmana. We all love quality over quantity, right? Everyone likes to have the best of things, and everyone wants to enjoy the best experiences in life. How do we know what is of the highest quality? This understanding also is based on our own perception and our own samskaras. This is also true of spiritual life. How do we know if we are advancing spiritually? Experiencing a higher taste requires lot of sadhana and practice. Chapter 2, Shloka 59. Vishaya vinivartante niraharasya dehinah rasavarjam rasopyasya param drishtva nivartate. Translation. Although the sense objects may be given up by an embodied being who is practicing abstinence, the attachment for them persists. When, however, there is immediate realization of the Supreme, that is Bhagavan, even the attachment of his disappears. As you think, so you become. This is a popular saying, right? There is another saying, tell me who your friend is, and I'll tell you who you are. We know that according to the association we keep, exactly we become like that, right? Krishna speaks about how one's mentality affects one's behavior. Everything is in the mind, or rather, everything begins in the mind. When the mind is attached to a particular sense object, it then takes a roller coaster ride, like how Krishna explains in this particular verse. Let's hear it. Chapter 2, Shloka 62. Dhyayato vishayan pumsah sangasteshu pajayate sangat sanjayate kamah kamat krodho bhijayate. Translation. By dwelling on the sense objects, a person develops attachment for them. From attachment, desire ensues, and from unfulfilled desire, anger arises.